Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Rob Beat. I'm the Battalion Commander at the 411 Civil Affairs Battalion. And I've served in the Army Reserve only for over 22 years. I enlisted back in 2000 simply for money for school. I had no intention of making this a career at all. I just wanted to do the 6-year enlistment, which is what I was signed up for, because I wanted to get through school. And it wasn't until I got to school, I had done my several years of Army Reserve time, and I was still on my 6 years, and I'm done. I think I was about halfway through my enlistment, and I saw the ROTC cadets at the university I was attending, and I was like, I think I could do that. And I talked to a couple of people that I knew that were officers or what have you, and they encouraged me. And I went ahead and signed the contract to be a simultaneous member. So I was able to be in the ROTC program at the university and still stay in the reserves. After going through that training with ROTC, I really fell in love with the Army. I fell in love with the Army. I knew this was something I wanted to do at least for 20 years for the retirement aspect, how far I could go and what kind of things I could do in the Army. And so I wasn't in civil affairs at that time. I was a different MLS, and then I found civil affairs. So then that really made me really enjoy the Army, because I think the civil affairs mission is very, very interesting, a lot different than most missions that you might see in the military. It would definitely be getting promoted to major, because I had been a company commander as a captain, and I had done that early in civil affairs. Normally you command as a major in civil affairs. I'd done it early as a captain, and I felt fortunate to be able to do that. Getting promoted to major, I got promoted early, and I was really proud of that. I definitely felt like it's like, wow, this is, I felt like I was working hard, and I felt like I was getting a little bit of reward for that. So I definitely was proud of that. And getting a battalion command and getting assigned to the 411th that's definitely up there as well, as something I'm really proud of. Obviously, you don't get a chance to do that until you get promoted to lieutenant colonel. So the fact that I can be a battalion commander is definitely a point of continued pride. The battalion commander is responsible for everything that happens or doesn't happen in the battalion. So that can be both good and bad. The training that the companies do, we try and push all the training mindset down to the companies so that they have control over their own training. I provide the overhead guidance in terms of what I want to see accomplished for the year, and then they do the same for their company. But it's supervised by myself and the sergeant major and the S3 and the XO. So the short answer is basically I'm responsible for everything. I'm fortunate and thankful that the Army Reserve has given me at the 411th a great staff. From top to bottom, all the staff positions are phenomenal. And so it makes my job a lot easier. I can sleep a lot better at night knowing that I've got great staff worried about the logistics and worried about the operations and worried about the intelligence and about just the systems and computers and all the things that go into making the battalion successful. I have a great staff that's working on it, so I don't have to worry and think like, geez, how's it all working? If I could think of what I thought a battalion command would be like, this has been it. It's fantastic to see everybody bring a lot of knowledge to bear on the problems that we're trying to solve or what have you. So it's really, really been a good experience to see that our staff is able to do that military decision making process to see how are we going to get from here to there, and how are we going to solve this or that problem. So I've been fortunate. I would easily say the leadership, knowledge, and experience that you get, certainly from the officer side, but even as a soldier when I enlisted, seeing good leaders and bad. You can learn from either person, either type of leader. And the knowledge and experience that you get from seeing that and then getting a chance to do it yourself. It's unlike any other organization. There's not a lot of organizations that would put a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old in charge of lots of money or lots of people. And that happens in the Army, or it happens in the Army. So to have that experience and still be able to have a civilian career on top of it I think it's unlike anything you could ever experience in the civilian world. I mean, there are great careers outside the military, and everybody in our battalion across the board can attest to whatever it is they do. We've got guys that serve for the government, serve outside the government in their civilian career, and it's all rewarding. but I don't think there's anything like serving in the military in terms of the experiences you get, the leaders you get to work with, the people you get to lead, and just seeing the phenomenal way people go after this part-time job, because this is what it is. It's a part-time job, but it sucks a lot out of you. And to see people rise to the challenges that are inherent to being an Army Reserve soldier, Army Reserve leader, is quite phenomenal. So I think just that's what I would easily say. That's the number one. The other thing I would say is the training outside of leadership and experience. The training that you get, even in the Army Reserve, people might think that it's kind of an afterthought in the military for the reserves to get trained, but it really isn't. There's some phenomenal training that's out there that I think is afforded to everyone, but certainly in civil affairs we get a lot of good additional training once you get qualified in your job. There's a lot of different courses you can go to become a better officer, a better NCO, and again, that probably dovetails into the leadership side of things. But it's unlike anything you'd get in the civilian world, I think. I would say the first and foremost is, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and I think that I couldn't live without that assurance. Understanding that and having that as the focus of my life is really the first thing I couldn't live without. That really is the motivation for me, because it's just the assurance of my salvation in my faith. Second thing would be obviously my family. I couldn't live without my wife or my kids. If it was going to be me or them, I'd say, I'll go and they can stay, because I couldn't imagine life without them. I have a wife and 3 kids, and I look forward when I'm away to see them all the time. So not having them be there, I don't know, it would be a difficult thing to come to grips with. So that would be the second thing. And the third thing, since the first two are somewhat, ethereal, I think the third thing would be, technology, either my phone or my laptop. The Army these days is so driven by systems and things. Not having that would be difficult. Now, I'm not suggesting we couldn't still do our jobs. I'm not trying to say that. But it's so nice and easy to be able to check email and be able to log on to systems and look at metrics and see what's going on where and who's doing what and what needs attention. The way the Army has things set up, it makes it very easy. So if I didn't have that, it'd make my job a lot harder. That's easy. Fall is my favorite. I love the changing of the colors in the trees, the cooler weather. It's not snowing. It's not super bitter cold. But as I like to say, it's the burr months, September, October, November, where you can put a jacket on, but you don't necessarily have to. Baseball's wrapping up. Football's starting. It's fun to be inside and outside, versus in the summer where it's like you want to be outside, but sometimes it's so hot you'd rather be inside. Fall, I just seem like it's perfect. Plus, my birthday's in November. And Thanksgiving, I love those. I love Thanksgiving as a holiday. It's probably that and Christmas are my 2 favorite holidays. So when fall comes around, I know Christmas is around the corner. So it's just, I don't know. I really like that time of year for all those things. It's just a beautiful time of year. I live in Ohio, so it's a great time around Ohio as well. So easily fall. Fall's my favorite. Don't worry about the things that you can't control. Worry about the stuff that you can control, because that's the stuff that you can get done and get done now and move on to something else. When you can control something, take care of it. Don't just set it aside and say, I'm not going to worry about that right now, and then worry about something that you really can't control. Don't borrow tomorrow's problems for today.